Dear people of Mauritius, you should be aware that an organization called the Number Resource Organization is trying to undermine the rule of law and democratic principles in Mauritius and have attacked the very principles of the rights you have as a citizen of Mauritius. In a disturbing letter sent to your government by 4 CEOs of private companies around the world who demanded your government interfere in the judicial process against a private company headquartered in Mauritius called AFRINIC. How are they doing that, you ask? Let me tell you exactly what's happening. On the 12th of July 2022, Number Resource Organization, which is the collective of the 5 regional internet registries, released a letter addressing the Mauritius government. Okay, no problem until now. Where's the danger on our democracy and rights as a country? The letter addressed to the Mauritius government is disgraceful, as it includes many outrageous and ridiculous requests that no country ever will agree to, as it questions the authority the country has to govern in any way it sees fit. And we must document that we as a Number Resources society, while respecting and not denying the importance of ORIRs for the internet, are totally shocked by what was mentioned in this letter. In the end, ORIRs are private companies, which means that they are bound to relevant regulations in their respective countries and obey the rule of law. And for the 4 CEOs, Paul Wilson, John Curran, Oscar Ruggles, Hansa Peter Holland, and the NRO to dare to request these requests in the letter is itself a disrespectful act. And that's towards the Mauritius authorities and its people. In this video, we're going to highlight some of the outrageous requests and the claims that NRO mention in their letter, and tell you the reason that this letter is itself so dangerous and shocking an act that NRO never should have thought of writing it, let alone sending it. NRO claim the following in their letter, and we find it extremely alarming what they have said, and we quote, "It is our understanding that AFRINIC has repeatedly asked for recognition from Mauritius of it as an international organization. We understand this is both appropriate for AFRINIC to obtain this status, and that if granted, it might lead to more appropriate outcomes, which would recognize the critical position AFRINIC plays in the internet ecosystem." Those words written in the NRO's letter are just beyond outrageous to the country and people of Mauritius for many reasons, and we're going to state in this video. But first, let me give you a simple example of what's happening that will make things much more clear for you. Imagine if someone came to your home and asked to sit with you for a while, and because you're a kind, good person, you agreed that this person can stay with you and benefit from everything in your house. And like any household, your house has some rules that the people who live in this house must obey if they want to live in this house and use its benefits. But no, this visitor who you kindly welcomed in your home comes one night and tells you, "I want to break all the house rules and I want you to say nothing about it because I'm just a visitor in the house. Yet I want you even to not let anyone in the house tell me anything when I break the rules of the house. And I'll do that while still benefiting from everything in the house and living there." Absolutely ridiculous, right? That's exactly what's happening. The NRO is addressing the Mauritian government, requesting that AFRINIC won't be subject to the law and rules of the country. And in addition to that, the judicial system in Mauritius won't be having any say on AFRINIC because AFRINIC is an international company, as the NRO letter states. This letter is an absolute sign of arrogance and outrageousness. As NRO itself stated in the letter that several cases are filed against AFRINIC by its members. Therefore, issuing this statement by NRO is like saying, we don't care about judicial system in Mauritius. We think all Mauritius judges' decisions are wrong and we don't trust it, and the court orders are just damaging to the internet's development and ecosystem in the African continent. NRO requests in this letter is a clear attempt of subjudice and contempt of court by perverting the court of justice. In fact, NRO's letter included a huge mistake that they exposed their unlawful acts by. In the letter, NRO states to the Mauritius government that the legal files are now replete with expert affidavits speaking of the unlawful behaviour on the part of the litigant. How did that happen? Isn't all information related to court cases supposed to be confidential? How did NRO read those files? Isn't that something to be alarmed about? Isn't that a direct interference with the judicial system of Mauritius? Not only that, but this letter by NRO actually requests that AFRINIC is to be part of a diplomatic special position so that AFRINIC is above the law. They're even threatening the government, saying that it would be very unfortunate for the African regional community if the above situation proves that the designation of Mauritius as the place to locate AFRINIC has been wrong. Like a child threatening to scream if his parents didn't give him what he wants. Why on earth a private company will be given diplomatic immunity? And why does NRO and AFRINIC want to be given a diplomatic position if they're not doing anything wrong? Bearing in mind that none of the other 4 RIOs in NRO has any diplomatic status in any country in the world. Why do they want one for AFRINIC in Mauritius then? Do NRO think of Mauritius as less of a country than any other? NRO's letter didn't stop at the point of wanting to put AFRINIC above the law, ask for diplomatic status, or interfering with the country's judicial system. It included lies as well that were put there to mislead the public of Mauritius, as NRO stated in the letter that all the court cases filed against AFRINIC were by one company, which is absolutely not true. AFRINIC have been sued by at least 7 different parties worldwide under the current leadership and management, who currently are rightfully suspended. It's worth it to mention that all the lawsuits made against AFRINIC were by community members who don't trust the current leadership of AFRINIC, represented in its CEO and current board members. AFRINIC's community members have a desire to remove corrupt leaders from inside AFRINIC and are taking a stand against the corruption and abuse of power identified in AFRINIC. Multiple members have turned to the Mauritius courts to pass judgment, and the Number Resource Organization intervention is trying to undermine the rights of the African community members to right the wrongs by taking grievances to independent courts to be heard by impartial judges. Community members who haven't even been mentioned once in the NRO letter, which is something that indicates how NRO leaders and AFRINIC leaders look at the community members, not even consulting one member of the community before sending the letter. Why is NRO sending such a letter to the government? Why do they want to put AFRINIC above the law and prevent the judicial system of Mauritius from doing its job? Isn't it obvious? NRO's letter is nothing but an attempt to defend a corrupt leader at the cost of eschewing its own principles that have been religiously followed by previous leaders and pioneers in this industry. It's disheartening to see that happen, honestly. And all for a corrupted leader and board members who don't even care about AFRINIC, nor the internet in Africa. We want all the people of Mauritius to know that we're aware that the actions of the Number Resource Organisation and the authors of this letter have placed the government of the Republic of Mauritius in an impossible position. The attempt at interfering in both your domestic politics and diplomatic relations will not go unchallenged by independent, impartial members. We won't allow any corrupted leader nor any organisation to be above the law, and we will defend the impartiality of the Mauritius justice system and uphold the rule of law. We believe that the community, the Mauritius judicial system and the Mauritian government will make the correct and necessary steps for the future of the internet. In the end, we would like to place on the record our thanks to the government and people of Mauritius for hosting AFRINIC.